Adjunct Professor Moran, Macroeconomics 111. In prior sessions, we've begun discussing the Agredy-Smets model, also known as the Keynesian model. We're going to start off with a simplified version of the Keynesian model called the private-closed model. Private because we're going to assume away government, closed because we're going to assume away net exports and imports. We're going to assume away there's no depreciation, corporations pay out all of their dividends. That's going to bring gross domestic product into equality with personal income, into equality with disposable income, which can then only be consumed and saved. We began by discussing consumption, one of the four components of aggregate expenditures, and GDP. Consumption, IG, G, and XN. Consumer spending, business spending, government spending, and net exports. We're now going to discuss our second variable, business spending, gross private domestic investment. And we want to know what's going to cause businesses to spend more or less money. And it's a marginal cost, marginal benefit analysis. If the cost of undertaking a project is greater than, if the benefit of undertaking a project is greater than its cost, it will be undertaken. But businesses don't do zero-based budgeting. They don't every year start, say, suppose the company didn't exist, how much would we spend now? They say, now that we're spending $1 million, are we going to spend $1,100,000, or are we going to cut back to $900,000? That's a marginal analysis. In order to decide how much to spend, there are two ways business can do this. They can either look at how many projects are profitable. So we're going to put expected rate of return here. In order to explain business spending in dollars. Now, you're behind your comfortable desk, you've got your cup of coffee, you're sitting in your leather chair, and you ask your financial analyst to bring in a list of all projects listed from most profitable, very high expected rate of returns, to very low profitable. When you look at the list, you'll notice that there are very few high profitable projects, like inventing Windows. But there are many projects that are very have a much lower level of profit, like running a lemonade stand. So if we compare those and connect those two possibilities, we'll have the demand for business spending. The demand for business spending in dollars is a negative relationship between business spending and how profitable projects are. Very few projects with an extremely high level of profitability. IG1, IR1. But there will be many projects with a very low level of profitability to choose from. Now, another way of looking at this is with costs. And a primary cost of business when it comes to undertaking new business projects is interest rates. And we're trying to find out how much business will spend on new projects. At very high interest rates, many projects will not look profitable because interest rate is a cost that is necessary to undertake a new project. So here's high interest rate. This will be as a percentage, and this is how much business spending will be undertaken. But at lower interest rates, many more projects will look profitable because the cost of undertaking them is less. When we connect that, we have demand for business spending, a negative relationship. So the demand for new business spending is a negative relationship between the amount of spending actually done and interest rates. Next, we're going to put consumer spending and business spending together and then put them on a graph and discover a concept called equilibrium.